And the greatest revelation that Jesus ever gave anybody in the scripture of who he was after what he didn't do.
This crowd in the background. Oh my goodness. Hello all, I'm the Mad Pastor, and this is another episode of the Mad Pastor Reacts, and I am watching for a very special Easter weekend Stephen Furtick's video, Stop Limiting God. This is from his Easter sermon a couple years ago. And with no further ado, how about we jump into it?
And it says in verse 32, when Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died.
It is nice to see somebody actually using the Bible while they preach. That's nice.
When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. And Jesus wept.
This particular piece of scripture is very close and personal to me. It's been very meaningful and impactful, and in many ways shaped how I view God. The fact that the God-man cries with his people is like a really important idea, historically speaking, that God actually cares enough to weep with his people. I wonder if that's where he's going to go. Let's see.
What if what you've heard about God is not all there is to him? What if the God that you've heard about is only a sliver? See,
yeah, of course that's true. Of course God is bigger than your understanding of God. Like, that's not profound. You're not saying anything profound. Dodoy, what if the universe was huge? Yeah, it is. We know that. Get on with it. What's your point?
And to assume that he's not as powerful because he didn't do what you thought he would misses the entire basis of true faith.
Okay, that's true. That's an important thing to understand. The main problem I have with it is that the reason people would think otherwise is because you've been telling them the opposite. You've been telling them God will give you what you want. All you have to do is believe. If you believe that God will come through, God will come through. And the reason people would think the other is because you have been telling them the other.
We want to define people and even define God and even define ourselves by our worst moment.
So that's weird. God's worst moment. Like, how would you even go about defining that? Like, it kind of flies in the face of traditional Orthodox Christian teaching, like across all denominations. The idea that God has a worst moment is a bit of a weird way to phrase that.
And you've got two perspectives at the tomb of Lazarus this day. In verse 36, the Jews said, see how he loved him. But some of them said, now watch this. This is my message.
Now watch this. God, this guy is just full of gimmicks, just full of showmanship and very light on actual nutrition.
Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? You see what they did? They labeled him according to their limited experience of what he could do because they heard he was a healer. So to them, that's all he is. And if he's a healer and he didn't heal, then it's over.
That's a weird interpretation of that. He does this a lot, where he's not actually looking at the point of the story. He's looking for his point in the story. Rather than letting the text actually inform him, he's already decided what he wants to say. He wants to talk about limitations and people judging other people and placing limits, and so he's looking for that somewhere. He's already decided what he wants to say, and so he's going to find it in the Bible somewhere. And that is the exact opposite of what we should be doing when we engage Scripture. Scripture should inform us about reality and ourselves and our relationship with God, our relationship with creation, not we decide how we want to relate and then we go make the Bible say it.
If he's only the one who opens blind eyes and your brother died, then he didn't do what he could do and he can't do it now.
The fact that they call him rabbi and teacher already assumes that they think more of Jesus than the healer. And in fact, one of the major points that happened right before this in the text is that Martha and Mary come to understand Jesus as the Messiah, as the one who was promised. And so already the point of the text is that no, the people are beginning to understand more of who Jesus is. And he's taken it and reversed it. And he's saying, no, they only think he's this way. That's literally the opposite of what the text says.
Sometimes you got to have enough faith to say, God, I thought you were a healer, but that's not all you are.
The stupid clapping stuff, the get worked up, rile the crowd up. You're supposed to feel now. Go feel now. Like, it's so obnoxiously annoying and manipulative.
Have you ever had God not stop something and he could have? Then you're just like Jesus. His father could have stopped him from going to the cross.
Look at the difference in tone. Just the like, get worked up. And now I'm serious. I can't imagine what it would be like to have coffee with this guy. Like, just sit and try and talk to him. Like, I wonder if he does that stuff in real life. If like that's how he actually engages and communicates with people, because it's ridiculous and manipulative, and it feels musical theatery almost. Like, it's not real, it's not sincere, it's theatrical.
And when we worship Jesus and we say, you're a king, he is. He's also a carpenter.
He's not a carpenter. He's a rabbi. Joseph, his stepdad, I guess, by the biblical narrative, is the carpenter. He is a rabbi. He's a traveling rabbi. That's his profession.
And the greatest revelation that Jesus ever gave anybody in the scripture of who he was after what he didn't do.
This crowd in the background, oh my goodness. Like, I'm so grateful for, and I can't remember his name, but the guy who commented, who actually was at Elevation Church, who actually like went there and served and volunteered there for a little while. All of the people who are cheering and like saying all this constant back chatter of like, come on, pastor. Yeah, blow my mind. Oh my God. All of those reactions, they're all staff. They're all like his staff and his like underlings. They're required to do this. Just like this poor guy on stage. Like, you can see the guy in the back. He's got to sit on stage and people have to see him watch Stephen Furtick give the word, and he has to react like it's the most amazing thing he's ever heard every single time. Like, this, what just a crap job that must be.
You can tell yourself a summary of what you are and what you're not based on the experience that you've had, not the potential that you carry.
I take your point, but that was a pretty convoluted way to get there. I would work on that. I might workshop that, just throw it around the writer's room a little bit and see if we can come up with something a little more succinct.
I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a 54-year-old producer. His channel is bigger than all the young guys today.
I bet it's not. I don't know who he's talking about, but I'd be willing to bet there's bigger YouTube channels than his from younger people. I bet that's the truth. But again, that's nitpicky. I don't want to take away, like, his point is well made. Old guy thought he couldn't, discovered he could. I feel like you could have told that story a lot quicker than you did.
You would be clapping so hard if you realized that whatever you have told yourself is the stopping point of what you can be.
He's literally cued them in. You have to clap now. You should be clapping now for that. What I just did, you should be clapping. And now he's like, gonna rile them up. Watch. He's going to rile them up and they're gonna start applauding. It's gonna happen. Watch.
Fails to factor in that the limitless God who says, my name is I am and will not be confined to one category, is living on the inside of you.
Just frenzy. Just like, dance, you monkeys, right on cue, and they dance. These monkeys dance. The emotional frenzy aspect of his preaching is always, it's just, it's no, don't think about it too hard. Just look at this. Look at the shiny moving things. Don't analyze it. Just clap, you monkeys. Clap and laugh. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, he's the great and powerful Oz is what he is.
So the message of Easter is just like the tomb. I'm open. Say it out loud. I'm open. I'm open. I'm open. Watch this. If you can heal a man who's been in the grave so long that his sister is more concerned about the stench than she is about the potential, if you can do that.
So the emotional frenzy, the repeat what I say, and having all the people on stage who are paid to react positively to everything he's saying, this is all just absolutely insincere. And also, by the way, kind of missing the point of the story. The fact that the sisters are, not open, like using them as the kind of the villains of the story is the complete incorrect interpretation. That one text, Jesus wept, that's the pivotal turning point of this. That's the most important climactic part of this story. Jesus first weeps with people who are grieving the loss of their brother and their friend. Jesus bothers to care about the simple, small, petty lives of the ants crawling on the globe. Like, that's how that would have read. People are used to, in this time, and when this was written, people are used to God's not caring. And the fact that this God cares is a revolutionary idea. Martha and Mary are not like the villains of the story. They're not. Their doubt isn't the problem. It is the idea that Jesus actually cares about this. That's what's going on here. I think I'm done now. I've been the Mad Pastor. This has been Stephen Furtick. Stop limiting God. And I'll leave you with this blessing. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Happy Easter.